pancakes today from the 1500s, and it's kind of the same how they made them, except for they did not fry them with butter or lard, so we're not doing that either. So first you're going to add a cup of cream to the bowl, and then you're going to add 3 eggs, and then you're going to want to stir that together until it's all mixed up. Okay, and then once that is stirred, you're going to put in 1/3 of a cup of sugar. And they did not use as accurate of measurements as we do now, so we kind of had to guess a little bit. And a half teaspoon of nutmeg, but they would just use a whole nutmeg, we just used ground. Okay, and then we're going to stir this. And then once that is stirred, we're just going to add a little bit of flour at a time until it's a good pancake consistency, which means it's pourable, but it's not really runny. This is what the consistency should look like when it's ready to be cooked and you've added all the flour. Okay, now we're ready to cook the pancakes, so we're going to get you have a hot stove, and we're just going to put a 1/2 cup of batter onto the pan. And then once one side is cooked, we're going to flip it over. Okay, now we're going to flip the pancake. Okay, so when both sides of the pancakes are golden brown and it's not runny at all, then just take it off the pan and put it on a plate, and you are all done and you have a delicious pancake. Okay, this ended up being our final product, and it actually ended up being more like a crepe than a pancake, so maybe that's what they called pancakes back then, but they are still very delicious. Yum, this is good.
That was really good.
Hey guys, today I'm going to be making the 1500s version of French toast. This originally was made in the Middle Ages all over England, but through the years it spread all over the world. Usually they use stale cake, but today we're going to be using regular bread. Also, they used red wine, but today we'll use milk instead. So first, I'm going to cut off the crusts of the bread, and then we will cut the bread into 4s. After we do this, we're going to place it in a dish. And now we're going to mix the batter. I'm going to use 2 eggs and put in 3/4 cup of milk. This was used in place of the wine. And then I'm going to use 1 1/4 tablespoons of sugar. I'm going to mix this all together. And I have cinnamon. I'm going to put in 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Then after mixing this, we are going to pour this in with the bread and let it soak. So we're going to want to make sure that all the bread gets soaked in with the batter for 3 minutes. So now, after letting the bread sit for 3 minutes, we are going to put 1/4 inch oil into a pan and let it heat up. And we're going to take this bread, stick it in there. When you're putting the bread in here, you have to be careful because the oil is very hot. So now, when both sides are golden brown, we're going to take them out of the frying pan and place them on a plate with a paper towel on it so we can let all the oil soak off of the bread and onto the paper towel. So now this is what your finished product should look like. And when you serve it, you're going to put powdered sugar and a little bit of cinnamon on top. And it's ready to eat.
Mmm, yum!
Alright, so I'm making apple tansy today, and this dish is now known as apple fritters. And the apples that were used in the 1500s were called pippins, but we couldn't find any of those at the store. And so first we're going to slice 3 apples with, and we use this cutty thing. And they already made it into round thin slices like we need. So then we just rip them apart. And so then in a different mixing bowl we put in 4 eggs. We put in 6 spoonfuls of cream, but we just use tablespoons. We use a little bit of ground nutmeg because they don't say how much in the recipe, so we're just putting a little bit in. Some ground ginger and a little bit of sugar. And okay, now we're mixing everything in the bowl together, and then we're going to put all of the apples inside. And now we have to stir all of them together. I'm just going to use my hands. And make sure that all the apples are coated in the mix. Okay, so after I made sure all the apples were soaked in the mixture, then we're going to put some in the pan that I put some oil into. And then you want to pour a little of the mixture inside. And then let it fry. So now I'm flipping over the apples because one side is ready. So after we fried them, this is the finished product.
Yum! Very good!
Delish!
Yum yum!